Так. Emily, please say something. One more time. One moment, we fix it technical part. Чуваки, що там?
Can you hear me?
Check. Check 1 2. Are you here? Check 1. Check 1 2. Are you hear me?
Can hear you.
Start.
Ready? Now I do not hear anything. But Igor tells me in our chat that I can begin. So I will begin. Danya, I will just say that I have my telephone here with me. So if I need to pause. Going on in Ukraine. So I'm sorry that I'm not there. I'm even more sorry that there's a war, but I'm happy to be here with you today. My name is Emily Ronick, and I work for an organization called GAME. And GAME is in Denmark. And when I try to describe what GAME is to people from street culture, I say, well, basically, we're like the same as street culture, except we're in Denmark. And when I try to describe street culture to my colleagues in Denmark, I say, well, it's like GAME, except they're in Ukraine. So it's really nice that our organizations can work together. And I will start today by talking a little bit about GAME, our organization. And then I will talk a little bit about the cooperation that we had in the past with street culture and about the cooperation that we have with them now. And I'm trying to change the slide, but it's not letting me. Hang on. There we go. So GAME is an organization that was started in 21 years ago, so 2005, 2004. It was started by our CEO, and the idea was that more people should have access to play sports. And if we look at this photo, it's not from Denmark, it's from Brazil. And it shows that there is great inequality in the world. We all know this already. And there are a lot of physical barriers here. It is very easy for us to see that the people on the right have a lot of resources and a lot of wealth and a lot of facilities, and the people on the left don't. But we can look more and more into this picture, and we can say, okay, the people on the right, they are so lucky, they have everything. But then we can also ask ourselves, well, do they have everything? Because the people on the right with that wall, they are also kept away from the people on the left. So that means there are new friends and new faces that they will never get to meet. So actually, when people are prevented from playing together, it's both sides that lose. This picture is also easy for us to see what keeps people from playing sport. It's very easy to say, well, the people on the left can't play tennis because they can't go to that tennis court. But it's more than that, because there are a lot of things that keep people from playing sports. Sometimes it's money, sometimes it's facilities. Sometimes it's because somebody is not very good at playing sports. Sometimes it's because their parents are too busy to bring them to sports. Sometimes it's because they didn't know something existed. Sometimes it's because they are not good enough to play on the team with their friends. Sometimes it's because they're too good and people push them to be more professional. So there are a lot of barriers that keep people separated from meeting each other and from engaging in sports. And what our organization tries to do, our vision, is a world with equal opportunities for all children and youth to meet each other and to engage in healthy physical and cultural activities. And our mission is to create lasting social change through street sports, youth-led street sports, and street culture. And we have programs in several different countries. And now also in Ukraine through a lovely partnership, which I will talk about. And here's a map, just so you can see. And in some of these countries, we have actually the GAME organization. And in some of these countries, we work through partnerships, like, for example, with street culture in Ukraine. And here we have our youth leaders. And we have several different programs where we train young people to become role models. These youth leaders that you see here, this is not in Denmark. These are our youth leaders in Ghana. And we have different programs that we use. We have something that we call a Playmaker program. We have volunteers in our houses or our facilities. We have a special program that uses parkour to teach children with special needs, and we have volunteers there. So we have many different volunteer programs. And what all of our sports activities have in common is this, something that we call the empowerment model. And we use sports as a way to help people first understand themselves as an individual, And then to think about social. Well, their family, they as a part of their family, their group of friends, them as a part of their group of friends, their classroom, they as a part of their classroom and their team, etc. And then finally, we have the community. And this is where ultimately we hope that sports and culture through game, and I hope through street culture too, will help people develop skills and understand themselves so that they can also go out and make a difference in their community. So all of the different programs and sports and cultural things we do are based in these three things. And we do different trainings, and we have educational programs where we train people to be volunteers and to be coaches. And of course, we celebrate them when they have completed their education. And so here's just a nice picture of a celebration. And I want to show a video now. It's in Danish, but it has subtitles in English. Let me figure out if it's going to play. But it's just a nice video because it shows what I was talking about earlier about the barriers. There are a lot of reasons why people don't get involved in sports and culture. And sometimes it's very obvious, like in the first photo that we saw. And sometimes it's ways that we don't understand. So I hope it will play. I love that video and it makes me cry a little bit. Sorry. But we're not just about sports, we're also about culture. So we have dance, we have basketball, we have football, we have parkour, but we also have graffiti workshops. We also have clothes designing workshops, and we also have an urban music school. So we're street sports and street culture. And here are our facilities. So we have indoor facilities and outdoor facilities. And if I understand correctly, all of you are sitting in the urban camp or urban center. And the model that we use is quite similar to the one that you're sitting in now, where we take an old building that somebody was not using, and then we work with the community to understand what people would like to do in this building. And then we transform it with architects and with the community. So this is our house in Copenhagen. And when we design our facilities or our playgrounds or even our programs, we try to use these design principles where we first go to the people that we want to work with, and we get their ideas, we give them their ideas, we talk about them, and together we come up with a proposal. And we try out that proposal, we see if it works, and if it doesn't, we adjust it until we have something that we think we like, and then we use it to create social change. And this is what our house in Esbjerg used to look like. Esbjerg is a city on the west coast of Denmark. This is what it used to look like, and this is what it looks like today. That's also in Esbjerg. And we use Legos when we do these design workshops with the communities and with the different kids, but also when we work with adults. And this is our parkour area in Viborg, I think. And this is what the house in Viborg, which is on the Jutland Peninsula in Denmark, a city there. This is what the house used to look like. It was an old windmill factory that was not being used anymore. And this is what it looks like today. And we did this together with a Danish architectural company called Effect, and they're very good friends of ours. And they're very soon to be very good friends of street culture as well. And this is the outdoor skating area in Viborg. And just the same way that we design the facilities together with the local community, as I said, we also build it together with the community, where we have building workshops so that the youth and the community can come and be a part of actually bringing the house to life. And in this way, they feel a sense of ownership. And these are the 4 different houses that we have in Denmark. But now let's talk about Ukraine. I did not put a picture of the house here of Ukraine because I guess it's not a game house, but it's beautiful. So Igor, we will have to discuss if it belongs in the game presentation or not. But now I will talk about the relationship we have with street culture. Let me start by saying we love these guys. We really do. And Igor and I met several years ago in Riga at the Ghetto Games conference. And we talked for many years about having cooperation. And then COVID happened and we had to stop our ideas. And I remember it was a week before the Russian second invasion in Ukraine. And we were on the telephone, we were having a meeting and we were planning and everybody was still believing. And we had all these great plans. And then of course, a week later, the worst happened. And then our ideas shifted. You know, our dream of cooperation didn't die, but it changed a little bit because suddenly there was a new reality. And so the first cooperation that we had together with street culture was funded by the Danish government, and it was not focused on street sports, and it was not focused on street culture. It was emergency money that had two different actions. One was delivering humanitarian supplies in the eastern part of the country, and there's that amazing team there that risked their lives to help people. And then it was also transforming the building that you're sitting in so that people could live there and the different communities could meet together. So that was emergency, and it was really fast, and it was street culture shifting away from street sports and street culture and just doing emergency work as quickly as they could. And in many ways, I would not say this was cooperation. The Danish government gave game money and we passed that money to street culture so that they could do their work. But we didn't really get to exchange ideas and to help each other as organizations. But we did love working with them. They were great partners. So we said, yeah, we would like to work again. So now, in 2024, we have a new cooperation, also with money from a Danish donor. And this is a real chance for us to work together, to take the best of what street culture knows how to do, and the best of what game knows how to do, and to really make a change on the ground in Ukraine, and then for us in Denmark and all the other countries to take these learnings and also share them in some of our programs. So it will be continuing to work on the building that you're in and having different educational programs there. It will be to bring the game Playmaker program to Ukraine. So please think about if you'd like to be a volunteer there. And it will also bring Danish architects and urban planners to work with Ukrainian professionals, both in consultation improve buildings, but also to do educational workshops together. And this is just the last picture where we take the best of you guys and the best of us guys and hope that, you know, in the future, we really are great partners. And just like I tell people, well, street culture, they're basically the Ukrainian version of game. And game, well, we're basically the Danish version of street culture. And we're really excited to get started on learning from you and contributing what we can. Thank you. And that's it. This is our house in Aalborg, which is an old chemical factory.
Thank you, Emily. 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 Can you hear me?
Yes.
So super. Thank you so much for your presentation, for your support. Our time is low. Really respect to you. You are a mom. I told the audience I call you our American Danish mom. So yeah, and thank you so much for your presentation. Really inspire people, and yeah, let's make it happen. Street Culture Academy, Playmaker here, and creating some architecture supervision in urban center. Thank you so much, and see you again. Thank you, thank you, thank you.